Carl McKinley Holder III. Yeah. I grew up in Florida, Gainesville, Florida. Growing up, I really hated growing up in the South. Now that I'm older and I don't live there anymore, I kind of have a pride about being from Florida, like being from the weirdest state imaginable. I started off acting as a kid, really young. I was 5 years old and I was in my first play. I just loved it. From then on, I was always in some place, somewhere. And then writing is something I've always done on the side. I wrote a lot of drippy romantic poems in high school. In terms of any kind of playwriting, I think was in college. Usually it was like we'd be making something up, and eventually after like improvising and coming up with a bunch of ideas and sort of putting a story together for a class or something, inevitably you'd have to like have the person who would write it all down. I liked coming up with the best way to sort of get the story across through what people were saying. It's like another aspect of finding clarity and sort of the fun stuff you find as an actor in the words. And then I say I really don't think it became anything serious until I was out of college, because acting in school has felt like something that people have to give you the chance to do. And you know, with this, you make your own chance, you make your own time. So the piece I'm working on in the group is called An Intimate Evening with Typhoid Mary. I think it kind of came to me in an idea. I think I've always thought Typhoid Mary was an interesting historical figure. This Irish immigrant who became the first non-symptomatic carrier of typhoid, or a person who is sick or has something inside of them that they don't fully understand, but it has the capacity to both affect them and other people. And I thought that just as a concept was kind of interesting. It felt like a challenge that I was inspired to do. Like, I wanted to embody this person, like I wanted to take that risk, and it's scary and exciting, and so I had to do it. I felt like this was the right venue to experiment with that, and just to see myself as a fledgling writer, and then to kind of bring in this other component of, and I'm also going to present it. So I think right now where I am in the process is first sort of stab at what the story is and what I think it kind of wants to come across as. And now we'll have to just figure out if there's anything to it. I think it's a discipline that I'm still learning as someone who's new to writing. Edit, that's the thing I'm the worst at, shaving away what isn't needed until you have what is great, and then further polishing that and polishing it. Number one, cheaper. Cheaper to live, cheaper to make the work, cheaper to see the work. Everything cheaper. The risk and the overhead that is required that I think ends up leading to less experimentation, less diversity, less other things that I find exciting would all be better if it were cheaper to make theater. Number two, more integrated. I wish people saw plays more. I just wish the creation of theater and the receiving of it were more integrated in people's lives, or integrated in a way that people talked about it the way they talk about a show that premieres on Netflix, that we all could be part of the conversation. I just wish it were part of everyone's life. My third thing is I feel like I wish the whole community of theater makers in New York was more fully united. I wish there was a way the conversation could be about everything. The whole town, everything that's happening everywhere, and what that means, like what kind of theater we're putting out as a whole community. But I think at times it gets segregated, and that's drag. The loudest voice sometimes gets confused as the most important. That's not always where the most exciting stuff is happening, or even maybe the most important or historically significant. I wrote theater that's unexpected, authentic, touching, and transformative. Those are the things I look for in the theater. Surprises that I didn't even know I should have been looking for, and then I think I want to be different after I've seen them.